if you want to succeed, you need to be coachable. And in order to be coachable, you have to be willing to take an ouch. So I also go to coaches in professional development. And the one that I go to, she often says, like, she'll say things that she knows hits hard. And she'll say, it's okay to say ouch. It's okay to say ouch, but just keep listening. And in order to be coachable, you need to be willing to take those ouches. But those ouches contain kernels of truth that you can perceive to either be meanness coming from somebody or a polish point. I remember when I was very young, I had a boss that sat me down and said, and I had really good sales numbers, okay? I had really, really, really good sales numbers. And that made me a little bit arrogant. And she sat me down and she said, I bet you think that because you sell as much as you do, that you could just do whatever you want and that you're not replaceable. And that startled me a little bit. And she said, I like you and I want you to succeed. So I'm going to tell you the brutal, honest to God truth. And you can either go home, cry, and say that I was mean to you, or you could understand that this is coming from a place of love from someone that's older and wiser than you, that, sees your mistakes and your blind spots, and I'm pointing them out to you so that you can improve and become a better person. Because if you do that, if you were to change these few little things, you would be indispensable to me. And then you would not be replaceable. But sales isn't enough. And she sat there, she pointed out all the ways that I sucked. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And I remember being humiliated and leaving, in tears and wanting to be mad. And how dare she, I went through about an hour of that before I just admitted that everything she said was true. And I had to admit that. And what would my life be like if I didn't do those things? How would I feel if I really was indispensable? So then I really sat down and I wrote a list of all the criticisms she had about me. And then I added a few more that I thought of myself. And I started actively doing the, self-improvement stuff that helped me undo all of those things. Wayne Dyer was really powerful for me. The early days of Deepak Chopra, Abraham Hicks, Louise Hay, most especially, I would say Louise Hay. So, there were a few thought leaders that really helped reset me. Robin Sharma was very helpful. Neil Diamond Walsh back in the day, book 1 of Conversations with God, that changed my life, that book. So, I really worked hard on myself. And, everything got better. And because I allowed myself to change, and it's an ever growing thing. It's not that, I walked out of that phase of my life a perfect person. I've been trying to chip away at this armor for a really long time and improve as I go. And you're always getting better. It's never a finished job. But if you are willing to be coachable and take that advice, you'll become invincible. Because it's not that you have to be perfect tomorrow, but as you're continually improving, you're getting stronger and stronger, and therefore harder to beat. So, if throughout this course you're hearing something that makes you go, ouch, that's okay. You're tough. You'll be all right, right? And understand that you're not stuck with it. You're not stuck with it. This is a default operating system. That is what's happened. And we can just switch out that operating system for another one. It's just a matter of awareness. Once you have the awareness, then you can figure out what you need to figure out to change. So if, along the way, forget what you learned in this course, just the feedback from what you get around you, because as you start to grow politically, people will point this stuff out to you. Hey, you're too long-winded at the doors. Hey, you're too serious when you talk. You come off as arrogant. Hey, like people will tell you flat out without filter, because nobody's got time for filters. We need you to be polished so that you can win this thing. And that's what you want. But you have to be willing to take the advice when you get it. Okay? And it's always well-meaning. It's not meant to hurt your feelings. It's to help you win. And it's to help you. It's the same way, there's, in the Olympics or whatever, you get archers, they're shooting that arrow 10,000 times until they get it perfect, and they tweak every move, and they've got someone looking out and say, no, lift your elbow, move your shoulder back, whatever it is. That's what this is when it comes to your professional development. So you just have to sit there and take the sting and take the embarrassment, and then do what you need to do to fix it. And understand that it's not a personality thing the majority of the time. It's a learned behavior, or it's compensating for something, or it's a defense mechanism. And if you can just be humble and take that advice, you'll be invincible.